Peace, everybody. Welcome to Mikey Eyes TV. I have a special, special guest today, Cozmo D. Who is Cozmo D? Cozmo D is an artist, one of the most iconic, breaking and popping jam for like the last almost 40 years since 19 about his history. DJ Elohim, what's going on? Jenny, how you guys doing? Everybody watching, you guys stay tuned for this one. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Ah, Cosmo D though, bro. Like this is such a huge honor for me though, bro. Like I think I've been trying to get this interview with you for at least maybe about almost like a year, huh?
I don't know, man, but I appreciate you, man. I'm honored to be here.
I just want to say though, Cosmo D, let me just say these good things about you though, brother, for the people that's watching. Cosmo D, for us as kids on the West Coast, like when we heard Jam on it, bro, I remember I had to been like in the seventh grade when I heard Jam on it. And when I heard Jam on it, I remember everybody instantly got up and people just started battling,
Mm.
and like it just goes on and on and on. But I just want you, to introduce yourself and to the world and let everybody know like who you are and when did you first get involved with hip hop?
Let's see if I can set this phone
Okay,
up
take your
somehow.
time.
There we go. All right. Ben Cenac, aka Cosmo D. And I first got involved in hip hop in 1977.
What?
Word.
Man, 19. Where were you born, Cosmo D?
Where?
Yeah.
I was born in Manhattan and lived my first 2 years in Queens, and
Okay.
then I was in Brooklyn the rest of my life up until
Brooklyn. Okay.
2008. Yeah,
Oh, so you're an East Coast head. Okay.
yeah, I'm a Brooklyn kid, man.
Bed-Stuy or which?
Bed-Stuy, Park Slope. My grandparents, where I was at half of the time, lived in Bed-Stuy, and eventually my mother and I moved to Park Slope, and I was back and forth between the two.
Mm. So you said man, 1977. That's so dope though, because that's the time like when basically Rocksteady Crew, New York City
Rocksteady
Breakers.
Crew didn't exist yet.
Oh, okay. I want to know about that.
Yeah. Well, from their own history, they didn't exist yet. I didn't know nothing about them. They were in the Bronx. I was
Okay.
in Brooklyn, but those cats are all younger. They came up, and I think they basically started 79, 80.
You're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Um, now, those cats that was rocking the parks, that's what we were doing in Brooklyn. I started DJing in 1976. I first got my first envelopment in hip hop in 1975 when I heard a DJ Count JC out of Coney Island cutting up Bra by Samandi. And
Ooh.
that's when I decided I want to be a DJ after I heard that. Got first equipment in 1976, started spinning with my cousins. Um, Neek, who would take the name Nikki D,
Ooh.
and Pete would take the name Master Quadro. And the following summer of '77, Neek went to college, so we got my best friend Dave. David St. Louis, his DJ name was Dr. Freeze. Dr. Freeze,
Ooh.
Master Quadro, and I was going by the name of Cosmo Disco. We formed JMO
Ooh.
Productions in 1977. And then everybody started calling name Frankie B and Charlie C and all that. So I shortened Cosmo Disco to Cosmo D. And now you know
Woo!
my basic origin story.
Yo, Cosmo, man. Like, I'm a historian myself, and everything that you sharing with me is like, it's like reading the Bible to hip hop, though, brother.
Mm,
I appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. All
I'm just,
right.
I'm just saying, from me to you, as you know, as somebody that was born and raised in Los Angeles,
Mm,
like Nucleus was everything to us, though, brother. Like even back in the '80s when they would have breaking contests,
mm.
as soon as you were hear like push the button, everybody just got up. Everybody was doing routines. You seen like it would just go on and on and on. Cosmo D too, from your history, when would you say that Zulu Nation was created? Because I'm hearing
I'm not
1973.
from the Bronx,
Oh,
baby. We ain't had no
oh
Zulu
yeah, you're
Nation
right.
in
You're right.
Brooklyn.
You're
I'm from
right. All
Brooklyn,
right.
man.
You're
We had
Brooklyn.
shit like crazy tomahawks, savage skulls, you know, the Jolly Stompers. That's what we had in Brooklyn.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit something about the Disco Brothers?
I don't know the Disco Brothers. Name sounds
Oh,
familiar, but I
okay.
don't know who that is.
I heard there was like a first DJ. There was like a DJ crew in Brooklyn.
I never heard of them. It sounds familiar, but with a name like Disco Brothers, that could be anybody. That's a pretty
Got you. I
generic
got you.
name.
Yeah.
Do
Okay,
you
I
remember
got
the
you.
DJs' names from the Disco Brothers?
Oh, oh man, tell you the truth, I watched this documentary and they were trying to compare because a lot of people were
Oh,
saying
you
that
talking
Brooklyn
about
was
the
already
Founding Fathers documentary?
yes.
Oh, okay. I don't think the crew's named the Disco Brothers.
Oh, the Disco
Um,
Twins.
yeah, the Disco Twins. They're
Okay,
from
I'm sorry.
Queens. Yeah,
Oh, they're from Queens. Okay.
yeah. Disco Twins are from Queens. But we knew about them back then, back in the day. They had a killer system.
Mm.
Killer system.
Yeah, I heard the system was really loud.
See, it's not a matter of being loud.
Okay.
It's a matter of it sounding good. That's what a lot of cats didn't
Oh.
understand. You know, if your shit is loud that hurts everybody's ears and it still sounds like shit, it don't mean nothing. You got to
Mm-hmm.
have a good sounding system that can still pump the volume. And that was our specialty. There was a few other crews' specialties. Doing good sounding shit.
Mm-hmm.
People want to dance to your shit all night long because it sounds that damn good.
Oh, okay. So growing up in Brooklyn for you, like who was some of the guys that you were listening to? Were you listening to like Cold Crush and them too?
No, Cold Crush is the Bronx, man.
No, I'm saying were you listening? Were you listening to
No, I
them? Like,
never
did you?
heard no Cold Crush in Brooklyn, man. Never
Oh,
heard
okay.
of Cold Crush. Never heard of when we heard of Flash was probably first time I heard of Flash was '78, and all I
Mm,
knew is he was a guy that could scratch with his elbows and all kinds of stuff, which didn't make shit the sense to me. He said, so the fuck what? Because back then, battling for DJs was about pulling the crowd. You had
right.
the best system, you pulled the most people. That's what battling was about. Doing all this, didn't make any sense to me because that's performance art,
Hmm.
and whereas the DJ's whole thing is about getting people to dance. If you busy performing, doing tricks, people ain't dancing, they looking at you. It never made sense to me back then. I understand it now because I'm a showman now, but back then I was a
Right.
DJ. All I wanted to do was rock the crowd. But yeah, Flash is the only one we basically heard of, and that was in about '78. Because that was when he was coming down out of the Bronx and doing shit in Manhattan, and the Audubon and shit like that.
Right.
And the word was getting down to Brooklyn. But no, Cold Crush. I don't even think Cold Crush existed yet in the '70s. I think they came around in the '80s. I
Really?
really do. I'm not sure, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Funky
that.
4+1. We saw them on Saturday Night Live. That was the end of the '70s. But no, we had our own peoples in Brooklyn.
So who was some of the MCs in Brooklyn that you remember back in the day?
Well, the MCs in Brooklyn was a DJ driven thing. So there
Ooh,
weren't any
okay.
MCs that were famous. Jimmy Spicer, who we never heard of, he said that he was basically well known. God rest the dead, rest in peace, Jimmy. But
Yeah.
I think he said his MC Moppy, something like that. But I ain't never heard of him back in the day. But in
Okay.
Brooklyn, it was a DJ driven thing. So I
Okay.
can tell you name of many DJs, but MCs, every DJ had a bunch of MC crews, and they would do their job, and then they get out of the way because the DJ's things to rock the crowd, and the crowd has to stay rocked. If the crowd is not rocking, the crowd get restless. Somebody gonna get fucking shot. So you kept the motherfucker going, man.
Okay.
It was a whole different thing. It wasn't performance. We didn't have MC crews doing routines and performing. None of that shit existed in Brooklyn. At least not that I ever saw.
Okay. Who are some of the DJs then that you might give me a few names of?
Fantasia, Nutcracker, Frankie D, Master D. Let's see who are the other big West Sound. The biggest of all was Grandmaster Flowers.
I was about to say that.
Almost as big as Grandmaster Flowers was Electrified Sounds with App Super Hard. It was a bunch of us.
Okay. And this is early 70s still. I mean late 70s, right?
Yeah, mid to late 70s.
Okay.
Count JC, who I already mentioned, is another one.
So how did you come up with the name Nucleus though? Like that honestly that was a very unique name because every name was either like fearless this or treacherous that or rock something though. Like how'd you guys come up with the name Nucleus?
Well, you gotta remember all those people you talk about, they basically came behind us.
Okay.
I'm talking about as a DJ. We started before hip hop really hit Brooklyn like that. I mean, the street jam culture was already existing when we started. It existed well before us, but the styles that hip hop brought, you know, when the MCing, because we had MCs, but the MC styles that came out of the Bronx, you know, came down, and those names and all that started appearing. That came later. That came at the end of the 70s.
Okay.
We had the name because our group was myself, my first cousin, Nikki D, who I told you I started DJing with, her husband, Chili B, and and my wife, Lady E. Nikki D and I were first cousins. So we had always grown up together like brothers and sisters. She was married to Chili B, and I was married to Lady E. So we were the nucleus of three different families. And that's why we came up with that name. Our original name was Positive Messenger because originally we were trying to be a group that was about spreading positivity and Christ-based logic throughout the world. That's what we were all about. And if you listen to most of the Nucleus songs, they were all from the Positive Messenger era. However, I made one song just as a joke that had no meaning. I was just going to have some fun and all that. And I named it after my crew, Jam On Productions. And the name of that song was Jam On's Revenge. And when we were shopping for a deal, the guy that signed us to a deal, he liked that song better than all the rest of them. And I told him I just made it as a joke. I wasn't really looking to put it out. He said, well, I'll make you $500,000 in a year. I said, word? I said, okay. And so Jam On's Revenge, the Wiki Wiki song, was our first release.
What?
But I couldn't release that under Positive Messenger because Positive Messenger had a purpose. So I said, okay, and that's how we came up with the name Nucleus instead.
Oh. And is this the 80s?
Yeah, that's the 80s. As in 1982.
1982. Mm.
Yeah, I
So you
started
know what?
making music at the end of 1979. I met Lady E in 79, and I decided to start getting my life. I was 20, she was 16. I just turned 20, and she was 16. And I started, I stopped getting high, stopped smoking weed anyway, and went and got myself a job. And so I had some disposable cash, and I saw a little synthesizer in the window of the store, and I went and I bought a synthesizer and a drum machine, both little things, and came home and fucked with it and made a song the first night. And that was the end. My life changed, And that was
What?
the end of 79, yeah. And we made a song together. But we weren't looking to make rap songs at first, because I
Okay,
wasn't a rapper. I was a DJ.
that's
So
true.
I'm not an
Okay,
MC. So,
okay.
but I had a book of rhymes that, because back then the DJs would get on the mic too, So I had a book of rhymes that I had written, and I would get on the mic every now and then. Matter of fact, when I'd get on the mic back in the day, when the whole park would start saying my rhymes, because I said the same rhymes every time, because I'm not an
Mm.
MC, so I'm not rapping off the dome. So, I just break out my rhymes, all the rhymes that I knew. So we trying to be a funk group,
A
with
funk group.
positive
Okay.
messages. However, we were hip hop, because
Mm.
that's not who we were trying to be or what we were trying to sound like. Those things didn't exist yet. That's who we were. We were hip hop off the street. Our whole existence was about the battle and rocking crowds. That's who we were. So that was in our music from the beginning, from funk. But if you
Mm.
listen to stuff like Automan, Destination Earth, Computer Age, those are all positive messenger songs.
Oh, I was listening to Computer Age right now.
Mm. Yeah, that's a positive messenger song. That's
I
why
can
you see
hear
it
it.
got a message to it.
Yeah.
You see, we're saying something. That pre-exists Nucleus. But when we got the Nucleus deal, I said, okay, we'll just do it as Nucleus instead.
When Nucleus first came out and it dropped for you guys, so was that like a mega hit for you guys, or was it push the button?
Jam on Revenge was a pretty big hit for us. For a first record, it was pretty damn good. But Jam on It, that eclipsed everything. And Computer
Okay.
Age did well. Computer Age was our third hit. But when I went shopping for the deal, it was Computer Age that I was shopping. Because when
Mm.
I did Computer Age, Planet Rock came out. And I heard
Yes.
Planet Rock on the radio. And I said, well, if that's a hit, I know my shit is a hit. So I was on my way to Tommy Boy Records to try and get a deal there. But I stopped at this cat, Joe Webb's crib, and he the one that convinced me to put it out, put out Wiki. So it's
Ooh.
life, man.
Who came up with the voice for the
I did.
wiki?
I did.
What made you? Cause oh man, I'm
I was
trying to think.
biting, I was biting George Clinton, man. I'm a funkadelic head. So I was biting George Clinton because George Clinton did that a lot, use the Munchkin voices.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know Parliament Funkadelic, huh?
I do, but I mean, I
Great,
haven't listened.
man. Come on.
I know. It's just been a while since I really listened to it, though. But I mean, I'll listen to it.
Yep.
Okay,
No,
that's where you guys came
he
from.
used to do it a lot, especially in Funkadelic records. So,
Oh,
and
all
that was
right.
my thing. So
So right now, are you able still to tour off the hits that you guys have
yeah,
today currently?
sure.
And people like you probably have you done like the when they would have like the old school night when they have like salt and pepper, raw bass. Do you ever do
We've
those
done a
tours?
few of those. I haven't done any in a while, but yeah, we've done a few, especially out in California.
They love you out here though, right?
Yeah, we get love wherever we go, man. They really love us in Europe.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about
You
that.
know,
Like,
they
what's the
really
difference
love us
between
in Europe.
what's the difference between the Europeans and the Americans when it comes to your music?
The Europeans tend to embrace the electro side more than anything, while
Mm-hmm.
the Americans tend to embrace the rap side more than anything. But in both cases, it's a mixture of the two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So did you when your music was popular, did you realize how much that it influenced like the breakdance world?
Nah. Um,
You had no idea?
had an idea because breakdancers liked it, but you know, it's all. It's not like it was shocking to us. The success part was shocking, but like I said, we're DJs, so we knew
Okay.
what the music was that we were making. And when I came up with Computer Age, I knew the kind of dances, and mind you, breaking the way it is now was brand new then. But
Mm-hmm.
up rocking, b-boying had existed already before that. So
Yes.
basically, I'm following it all worked. So we had an idea, because we were on tour with b-boys,
Mm.
because we won the Fest. So there
Ooh.
were b-boy crews, um, what Dynamic Breakers were on that crew. Uptown Express was, on that tour. Uptown Express was on that tour.
Mm-hmm.
So we were plugged in.
Okay. That's amazing though, brother. And like Mexican people love jam on it though, brother. Like when I say they love it, you can put that on at any gathering. You put on jam on it instantly, everybody will put their food down and just start popping. You will see kids get on the floor and start rolling. And it's to me though, brother, that's powerful for your music to still be able to transcend
It's
like
a blessing, man. It's a serious blessing. Serious
hmm
blessing. We really appreciate it and we love it. We really do.
right. Since now hip hop is turning 50, August 11, 1973, like how do you personally feel about hip hop turning 50?
I'm ecstatic about it. While hip hop is turning 50, Nucleus is turning 40. You know,
Yes.
so we're embracing it, man. We're trying to get out there. We're trying to get new music out. We're trying to get out there and get and bring stuff to the people. Bring our show to the people. We're ecstatic about it.
So pretty much your whole life, you just basically just been involved with music, though, right? Like that's been your life.
My whole adult life, from
Wow.
20 on, from 20 years old on, it's been all music. I,
Mm.
I did have a little job here, a little job there. In between Jam on Revenge and Jam on It, I did work two jobs, I think. You know, because trying to make ends meet. But
Right.
since then, that's been it. Music's been my life.
Hmm. So I know you mentioned that you said back in the day the B-boys already exist, and then the up rockers were actually they called the rockers. So have you ever heard of a crew called the Dynasty Rockers from Brooklyn?
Yeah, I know them well.
Okay.
Yeah, King Uprock's an old friend of mine.
Oh, okay. I just did an interview with him last week.
Yeah, I saw that, man. They
Wow, you
call it
guys know each
rockers,
other.
man. Back in the day, it was called up rocking. You know,
It was called Up
before
Rockin'.
before any of us ever heard of the breaking and all that. Now they have new names for it, but they were doing that shit in Brooklyn from the '60s, man.
That's what I was told.
Yep, from the '60s.
Was there brothers doing this though too, or was it like I heard it
Yeah,
was
it was
like a Puerto
brothers
Rican,
doing it. Yeah, brothers and Puerto Ricans.
and there was brothers that had their own up rock crews.
Sure.
Do you know any of them by heart if you can think of it?
I don't know, but I know they existed, and I bet you
Okay.
they're probably affiliated with the gang culture. The top black gangs in Brooklyn at that time were the Hellcats, the Tomahawks, and the Jolly
Mm.
Stompers. And
Ooh, I never heard of Jolly Stompers. Okay.
you never heard of Jolly Stompers? Well, you're from the West Coast. That's all right. No, no. You know who you need to check out, and you can probably get some information because he knows all of the people from the old gangs. Do you know King Class?
No.
King Class, Klast. He's on Facebook.
Okay.
Contact him, and I'm sure he can tell you a whole lot, or he can direct you to somebody who could tell you a whole lot about up rock culture because he's plugged into all the street gangs. And remember, in the
Okay.
60s and early 70s, it was the street gangs that were doing all that. That those dances came out of those cultures, and then the street gangs dissolved because of drugs, but the dance crews emerged out of that.
Mm. So yes. So since we're speaking on DJs, who are some of your favorite DJs out here on the West Coast?
My boy Egyptian Lover, I gotta big him up. He's one of my best friends on earth, man. So yeah, I checked out Glove, but
Okay.
Chris the Glove, but I'm not the kind of guy that goes running and checking out DJs and stuff like that. That's not really what I do. I'm pretty busy doing my own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Got you, brother. Well, obviously you heard of DJ Kubert, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cuban's dope. But I don't know. Does he do classical DJ work at all? He's more of a turntablist.
Yeah, he's more of a turntablist.
Yeah. I don't equate that with DJing. Like
You
I
don't?
said, a DJ keeps the music going, you know, and keeps the crowd up on their feet. That's what a DJ is to me. A turntablist is a type of a DJ, but not the same type of DJ that I come from, the tradition that I come from. Their whole thing is the tricks, you know,
right,
and to show off the skills and all that. But and the skills are amazing. You say, "Wow, this motherfucker's dope," but can you dance to
it? That's true. You're right. Can you dance to it?
And you're a dancer. So when they start doing all that,
yeah, you're right.
You have to stop dancing and go look and watch them do it.
That's true.
But the partying part, that's over till they finish and just put a fucking record on. See, I mean, I'm old, so I can't tell the kids what to do or the young men what to do. You know, everybody's got their own time, and I respect that. But from the DJ tradition I'm from, I want to hear good music, programmed well, blended well, cut well, mixed well.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Is there any what kind of music you like to listen to today?
Mostly jazz, but I listen to everything. The kind of music I make today, I make hip hop, I make funk, and I make house. And a little,
you make house.
Drum and bass. And a little, well, the funk, I include the electro with the funk and the hip hop. But
okay,
that's the music I make, but I listen to everything. But the music I listen to most is jazz.
Who do you like in jazz? I listen to some John Coltrane.
I love John Coltrane, but I'm a fusion guy. So,
fusion, okay.
Yeah. Fusion is my favorite. It's what brought me into jazz. What's brought me into just about everything. Because from fusion, it branches out into all different genres. But who am I feeling right now? You know who I'm really, really feeling at the moment? Snarky Puppy.
Oh, okay.
They're so dope, and there's so many. It's a collective. So all these cats, cats like, Corey Henry and what is it, Bubba Sparks, and Jameson Ross, all these cats in that conglomerate, and they making dope music.
Mm. That's awesome, though, man. That's awesome. So, let me wait till this car go by real quick.
You
So
outside?
you have, yeah, my side.
Yeah, I was
So you
going to
have
be
a family, though.
outside, but it got too cold.
Yeah, it's
If
cold.
we had done it earlier, I would have sat outside, smoked me a cigar. But it's all right.
Thank
Winter time.
you, though. Like, honestly, for doing this, though, Cosmo, brother. Like I've always wanted to meet you. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching the Jam on that video and watching the little brothers. They was breaking and popping on there. I thought it was kind of cool. You know. So the song, I'm pretty sure you guys came out with that song. I want to be a b-boy. Is
Yeah.
that right? I want to be.
Yeah.
That song right there is so dope.
Thanks, man.
Did you come up with that song?
Yeah.
What
Chili
made you
B
want
and
to?
I wrote it. I wrote the rhymes, and
What
and Chili B and I wrote the track.
what made you like you basically told a story about the b-boy. You said for the rest of my life I want to be a b-boy. And you didn't break, did you? Were you breaking? Were you breaking?
No, me? No, hell no.
So b-boy,
I break a
what
glass
is
when I drop it.
so what made you want to write a song about b-boy if you wasn't breaking?
They wanted our dancers to be involved in a record. So I figured, let me go for the perspective of the dancers. So that's what a good writer does. He tries to get into somebody's perspective. It's the same way for writing for women. I'm not a woman, but I can try my best to write from a woman's perspective. So I tried to write from their perspective.
You nailed it. You was talking about the spinning, the 1990s. I was like,
no, I wasn't. If I was, I didn't know it, but I'm glad you see it that way.
This for the fact that you said it for the rest of my life, I want to be a b-boy, and that's what I've been since I was a kid. My whole life, I've been a b-boy. Like I never, even when hip hop, when breaking died, like I was still like, I still wanted to be a part of it, but eventually, like things didn't start picking up until like the late '90s. But when the '90s hit and Zulu came back and Rocksteady came back and Grandmaster Flash and Grandmaster Theodore and Grand Wizard and everybody started like showing themselves, I felt the spirit of the b-boy again, So it's like the whole time, I got the name Mike Yikes when I was mad young, and I've always kept it with me. I have two names, which is my original name, and I have my b-boy name. But I'm really known more by my b-boy name because that's the name that I've been writing with since the '80s, the '90s, the 2000s, and right now.
Sweet.
So for me, when you made that song, I'm gonna be a b-boy for the rest of my life. I felt like that song was like it was basically about me as an individual, as being a b-boy.
I'm glad it worked, man. I'm glad it touched you.
Thank you.
I wish I could claim a whole lot of thought went into it. And maybe it did at the time. I don't know. That's so long ago that I wrote it. But I'm glad that I'm always blessed to know that my music is felt as an inspiration for somebody. You're the first b-boy that's told me, that song in particular was an inspiration. So thank you, man. I'm really honored.
Yo, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get you in here, because I wanted you to know from a b-boy point of view how important like your energy was, that basically preserved me like all these years though. Like it was the energy you was giving off, us as being little kids walking around the block with the boom box with the 15 batteries in there, rechargeable. You know what I'm saying? And we was playing Jam on it, just walking for blocks. like looking for B-boys to battle.
Nice.
Thank you, Cosmo D, though, brother.
My
I just want
pleasure,
to say
man.
thank you for giving me this time, though. Like, I'm gonna put this up on my YouTube channel. I hope that somebody watches this, gets inspired, and just that it can be a blessing for somebody in the future. Because I know, like, you know how it is, though. Like, it's like it takes like 10, 15, 20 years for somebody to recognize, like, yo, you know what, that Mikey Ice and Cosmo D, like, it was a dope interview. For me, it's to me, it's one of the best
Mm.
because it's something that I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. And I would just like to say, if there's anything positive that you can leave us with before you go.
What we have to do, and we're in trouble if we don't,
Okay.
is to increase positivity.
Oh,
And that's in all
oh
the stuff
man.
that we do. I ain't got no problem with what they called back in the day, keeping it real. And I even went along with it, for a good while. When hip hop started taking the hard turn, the street turn, the thug turn, whatever
Hmm.
turn you want to say it took. But the result, man, is we're fucking ourselves up.
I know. I see
We
it.
have to get back to positivity in the music, man.
I see it.
You know, and
Thank you,
and,
brother, for
and,
sharing.
and, and
Hmm.
and we lost plug two, De La, and how you get more positive than that group, and we lost a serious soldier for hip hop, and God rest his soul, rest in peace, man. But we have to get back to positivity. I'm
Plug
gonna
two
do
was
my part about it. I'll tell you that much.
ah. All right, brother. I think have a good rest of the night.
You
I
do the
got some more
same,
people coming on if you ever want to check it out. I got
definitely.
who else I got coming on? I got some people coming on, brother. I'm just really trying to document people like yourself for Black History Month
I
and just
appreciate you.
just everything that you did. Thank you for your time, brother, and
Thank
I
you.
wish you the best.
Just want to tell everybody, you want to catch up with me, catch up with whatever we're doing, Jam On's doing, Nucleus is doing, www.jamonproductions.com. And you find us all there. Love you,
You
man. Thank you.
all right, brother. Peace.
All right, peace.